But
Dude, let's go.
is there an episode that sticks out in your mind that was one of your favorites?
Probably Kieran Lovegrove.
Okay.
Honestly,
I thought you were gonna say me, but okay. I'm kidding.
you're a hard number 2.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. But so
I
what?
could not decide. It was a tough one.
No, I was busted here. But so Kieran Lovegrove, what stuck out to him that you just enjoyed?
So he's very much big like into to like a sport like the guys in the minor leagues. I mean, because he's played for, I think this is his like 8th year,
Okay.
like the minors, and he was like one of the first guys like to like to publicly state like the bad, that's pretty much like the pay in baseball, the housing and all that, like the minors. So it was, I mean, because like I'm like very like passionate about that stuff. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say was that recent then, like this summer?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
because that's when
so
this story like got big in the summer.
correct. Yeah. Yeah, so June Lee, like so a writer at ESPN, like so he did like the article for him, and they talked, and then like the way that like Kieran like explained it, it was super, it was like I could feel how shitty like the situation was. And I mean, like he was like a very very open book, and I mean, like we talked for hours like afterwards, just
Wow.
about like, dude, about like everything and anything in life, and it was just a blast. Like I mean, like he said like that if I wanted to stay on there for like 10 hours and talk, I like that he would have stayed on there for 10 hours and talk.
That's so cool.
Awesome dude for sure.
What was he on the Angels? Is he on the Angels?
Yeah, yep. Double A for the Angels.
That's crazy because that has to be the same story and probably the same person that I was reading about, or he had to be one of, like you said, that's probably the first then, because that's the first I heard about it. Because when I was playing over the summer, I was relating to what he was saying. I mean, I'm not in the minors yet, essentially, but I'm in the independents, but it was the same situation. So, but to hear what was definitely going on there, and it's scary shit. Like, but
Yeah.
I mean, but he essentially just changed the game, because starting next year, every team has to have housing for everybody.
Yep. Yeah. Then there was, and then I think they actually released like kind of like what they're gonna do, and I think it's that like the organizations have to pay for their leases. So, but then again, like is there gonna be like a limit, or I mean, like what is there gonna be after that? So I mean, there's a lot of things like that are still like up in the air, but now it's time to fight for like the fair pay.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting, because I know how much Double A makes currently, because Joe was telling me about it. And I mean, it's really not that much, and it was something always known going, through the league. AAA is like, you'll make some a little bit better money, but it's really depending on then how big of a draft pick you were or signee, because there's a signing bonus that you have to save. But well, obviously when you make it to the MLB, then it's different. But up until that point, it's insanely hard. Because they only pay you during the season. Off season, they don't pay you, so you have to do your own shit during the off season.
It's super interesting. I mean, like, there's a lot of loopholes like that MLB can do, like to not have to pay their seasonal apprentices. So it's crazy, but it's a start. I mean, like I'm very interested to see like what the CBA like for MLB like has to say like for this offseason.
So how did you end up reaching out to him and like getting contact with him?
So I sent him a DM, and he was like, "Yeah, for sure." That's it.
Well, because I mean, wouldn't it be crazy? They could relate to, or they can go back to your podcast and hear his like talking.
Dude, that'd be so cool.
You're part of a transformation, I'd say, in MLB. The Loaded Bases podcast. How crazy would that be?
That'd be so sick. But there's, dude, it's I mean, yeah, Kieran's, and then I mean, honestly, like they're all fun, but
Yeah.
I mean they all have like everyone has like different stories, and like none of them are the same, and that's what I
Wow.
love about it.
That's see, and that's pretty cool. I mean, because like even when you had me on your podcast, like you
Yeah.
know, you kind of just let me do my own thing and just talk and
Hell
figure it all
yeah.
out. And I mean, and that's pretty cool. I mean, I think you nailed it on how a podcast should be, because when
Yeah.
I have my podcast, I mean, I like to have, like I said, questions ready. Just just in case my guests don't have, they're a little lesser. They're nervous or something, and so
Yeah.
have those ready. But it's cool. I always felt like my podcast like I wanted to get to that point where it's just like a nice conversation flowing.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, when I bring someone on, I would like, I like to learn about how they got to where they were, and that's why I like to take it through like a life journey, I guess you could say. But I mean, but I applaud your podcast. It is pretty cool.
Dude, I really appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
It's been, I mean, I I went to speech therapy for years, like for stuttering. So
Tell me, like, what. So was that always like right when you were born you noticed something, or was it something developed
it
over
was
time?
like, so I want to say when I was in like second grade or
Mhm.
like first, second grade, um, I started noticing that like kids were being assholes to me, and I'm like, well, like, what the fuck? Well, I mean, I didn't say what the fuck, but it was like, so, and then like I would go home and I would like be like crying like to my mom, and
Oh,
I'm just like, I don't want to go to school anymore. Like, kids are mean, and so yeah, so kids were mean, and then my mom's like, she's like, you know what, like, just let them say whatever, because you can run faster, jump higher, and hit a baseball a lot further than they can. And then boom, it was just like, I mean, like from there on out. And then yeah, so like, and then we ended up doing like speech therapy and all that stuff. So it was
what? So
it was
was
fun.
it like was it a stuttering issue?
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
was bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause there's like some words like now like that I can't just like say. Like if someone like asks me a question, it's like the first word of like a sentence. Like I get stuck on it like sometimes, but like other than
Wow.
that, I mean, like I'm a lot better now, guaranteed.
Well, I mean, I
It's
would have
crazy.
never, if you'd have never told me, I would have never expected it, to be honest.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, I have a lot of issues, but like, but no. So I would say about like month and a half ago. So like I was diagnosed bipolar type 1. So
Okay.
yeah, so I have that too with manic depression and like all those things. So like the
Hmm.
podcast like really like helps me out because I feel comfortable like talking to people like about like baseball and then like their stories, and it just like honestly it's crazy to me like I even like started a podcast, but like without it, I don't know what the fuck I'd be doing.
Well, I mean, again, we only met a couple weeks ago, but it's stuff that you would never expect, because I
Yeah.
mean, you're like when we always snap or text or whatever, it's like you just seem like a very happy go lucky type of guy. I mean, like
Oh yeah.
so I mean, I applaud you, because I mean that stuff is obviously very very hard to deal with, and and so I'm glad that you're able to find a way to beat that. And I mean, it's a cure essentially. It's like something you're passionate about and that you're
Yeah.
beating essentially.
Oh, 100%. It's a very, very like holistic way like of doing stuff, I guess.
Hmm.
Like and say like doing stuff like that. I really enjoyed that, like helps me like relax. But I
Yeah.
mean, like it's I don't know. I mean, it I don't even know like how to explain it, but it's kind of fun being bipolar sometimes, honestly.
You could use it as an excuse if you're mad at your girl or something, even though you're
That's
really
what I'm
pissed
saying.
at
I'm
your girl.
like, oh, I do that. I do that for sure. I'm like, sorry, babe, I'm bipolar. My bad.
Is she there right now?
She's taking a shower.
Okay, so don't. I hope she didn't hear that.
Oh, she doesn't care. she is awesome. She's very supportive of it, and I mean she is very patient with me, and yeah, and she supports the podcast, so we're good.
So,
No complaints.
how long have you guys been dating then?
Since the beginning of 2021.
Okay, so you guys, I mean, it sounds like a good relationship then, which is also
sure.
definitely very helpful.
Yeah, I have only kicked her out one time, but that was a very, I don't know, I was having, it was weird, like it was one of like the manic episode nights, and that was before I was medicated, so it was just like, yeah, then just like one night, like she like pissed me off, and then she went out like with friends, and I literally packed up all of her stuff, and then I put it like by the front door. I mean, like, it's not funny. It's not funny, but yeah, it was, I wouldn't say like, because that, like, that's like how bad it was, but then now I'm
and she,
way better.
She obviously understood what was going on, and
yeah,
you know, and the fact that she stuck around and she understood and took the time, I mean, that really just says something right there, you know.
1,000%. I mean, like, if she can deal with that, like she can deal with anything.
You better get her a nice Christmas gift this year,
dude. I guarantee that she'll get something nice.
Good. Yeah, because she sounds like a good person. So I never really met her, except I know that she doesn't have a cool face tattoo like you do.
Yes, sir. I got my smiley face on my foot. I also have my Harry Carey face. Dude, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, what caused this obsession with tattoos?
I got my Cubs one on my ribs when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just got another one, and then another one, and then another one, and I'm like up, like pushing 30 tattoos now.
Wow.
And that's not including the sleeve. I mean, like, I count that whole thing as one.
Oh, you got to include that. I would include that. They're separate pieces.
Well, they were done like 2 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess 2.
Well, you know what's crazy? As you're talking right now, you know who you remind me of? Like, you look like almost.
Who?
Mac Miller, dude. Do you know Mac Miller?
Oh, bro. I have a story about Mac Miller.
No way, because he's by far my favorite artist. You saw him with the Frick Park and everything.
He is mine as well. So okay, so like, so when I was in high school, I mean, like, I was like a skinny kid, and so then like people would like always say, "Oh yeah, dude, like you look like Mac Miller." So then I was like, "Oh yeah, no, like yeah, like he's my cousin. Like Malcolm McCormick is my cousin." So then so then I was like, "Mom, I'm gonna text you, and I'm gonna say I'm cousins with Mac Miller, right?" And then okay, then I told her, I was like, "You gotta say, oh yeah, Malcolm, yes." Like from Pittsburgh? Oh, for sure. Yes, I would do that to people, and then they're like, "No way!" Like, "Oh yeah, for sure."
Have you ever actually met him in person before? You know, he unfortunately passed.
No.
Can you imagine if you saw him and be like, "Bro, we're cousins"? I bet he would be like, "That's sick."
He'd be like, "What the fuck? Like, who are you?" Like, no, dude, we're like cousins by like just because we're both white. Like, that's it.
Well, dude, you like. I would say that you have, you know, you definitely look like him. Maybe he would take a picture with you. I bet that would happen.
Dude,
you know, he would have posted it.
I would be like, "Bro, like, let me roll you a blunt and let's smoke that together." and then we would be homies forever.
Dude, that'd been sick. So we went through your tattoos. What is your favorite tattoo?
My favorite would be easily, it'd be this little star I have, or sun, or I don't know what it is, but my grandma gave me the tattoo.
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me that on your podcast.
Yeah. See, my grandma gave me a tattoo.
Was that weird? Because she definitely never done that before.
I mean, like, I told her like an hour before, and I said, "Hey, you're gonna give me a tattoo. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, well, here's a tattoo gun.